manipulate the paint to some extent. There's probably going enough on here, but yeah, might be okay. So I can pick paint up and put it down again. So I'm sort of like using the paint that's on the surface to paint with, rather than off the palette. So it's what's already there. And also, it's a little bit thin here actually. So if this had been a more sort of like absorbent, more like an oil-based primer rather than the gesso one, this paint would be much easier to move. But because it's on this gesso, it's more difficult. So I can break up edges with it, basically, is what I'm trying to show. Not really enough paint on there. It's not really enough. I need to get more paint on there for that to work. So maybe wait for that. Okay, let's work back into this. I'm going to restate that shadow shape in there. The thing is with the Prussian blue, it's so strong, it can overpower the palette a little bit. So I'm just making a comparison with what I had on before. So I want to get fairly close because I think that was fairly accurate. Like that. Oops. So actually now I can see more subtlety in the trumpet. It's not, before I just treated it as all one shape, didn't I? But now I can see there's more variety in terms of like there's a change in color temperature within it. So this is the kind of refinement I'm talking about. So it's sort of blue, well, greener on that side, or blue if you want to put it that way, and then it becomes warmer on this side of the shape. Sorry, there's a bit of glare. Difficult to move if I move the camera slightly. And let's go back to these other shapes that I did before, which were less chromatic. Use paint grey this time, which is bit easier to control. Sometimes with something like Prussian blue, phthalo blue is the same actually. It's very, very chromatic. And if you're not careful, it can completely overpower your palette. So what you can do is sort of an intermediate. So you get some of your colour and pre-mix it with another colour. So you've got a pile of something that's less chromatic. It's a bit easier to control then. And you could sort of dip into that rather than trying to dip into that, which is even a tip off the tip of your palette knife can be quite overpowering. Just check that it's not far off. Slightly more chromatic and just here, and then it becomes grey as it moves out towards the edge of the shadow over here. The same here. Sorry about the glare on the panel there. It's just the angle of the light. So that's what. So let's move that one stick it comes to the shadow. Unfortunately, that would be in the way if I put it there, but that's a better view of what I'm seeing. How are we doing for time? Still got an hour, that's good. I don't think I'll be getting a second painting now. Sorry, I'm trying not to. I've got the camera on a tripod and trying not to kick it over by having it too close. Okay, looks good. There's a very dark centre in here. Should be nice to indicate. It's quite green, but well, I'm going to use paint. Rather than using the Prussian blue, which would completely overpower it. It's not a strong green. It's slightly darker in value than the surrounding. Like that. That's weird. It looks much darker on video. It's not that dark in real life. Strange. I don't know why it looks like that. That's weird. Try and correct. Oh, let's do the contrast. I can change that. That's what when I start to block it. Weird. Okay. That's weird. When I partially block the camera, the value goes up. It's close. It's more like what it is, what I'm seeing. But when I think it's because of the contrast between the white and the dark. The camera can't cope with it. It's just one of those. That's why it almost looks. It's not. It's nowhere near that dark in real life. I'm just talking about that central bit. Okay. Carry on.